Sweet.
So I didn't have any I never had any health issues beforehand, but I would say that hooping has definitely made my body better in every sense. I wasn't unhappy before I started hooping, but I am happy every single day since I found the hoop, because it's just fun. And it gave me something to do because I was a person who didn't have a hobby and didn't ever do anything except clean my house in my free time. And now I haven't cleaned my house in 3 years.
The stuff you gotta do, not the stuff you want to do.
Right, but it's definitely I do feel better though too. So I didn't think that I felt bad before, but now noticing working out every single day and kind of eating right, I do feel better, and it's wow, I didn't really realize how much better I would.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, as far as health wise, it definitely helps. But I'd say hooping has more of an impact on my mind and my body because I fell in love with it, and that's why I do it. So all this other stuff that I do is really really cool, traveling and getting to other career opportunities is really awesome. But at the end of the day, I hoop because I love it.
Exactly.
Because I love it. I can't even imagine not having it because my happiest moments in life seriously are when I'm in my kitchen alone and I'm in a flow state.
Yep.
That's just.
And
I
you
love
have
your
no
setup, by the
idea.
way.
But that's where I'm happiest, and that's what I want to do is just be able to just hoop, and all the other stuff is cool, but that's that's why I do it.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as places I've traveled and everything, I've gotten to go to over 20 different cities this summer, which is really awesome because I never really hardly left Ohio before. I was so sheltered, and so now I've gone to all over the East Coast, and I feel a little more culture, I've learned a lot, I've seen a lot of different people, and the hoopers are so cool. I love all the hoopers, and definitely different cities are a little group-wise, they're different. I felt some really strong pulls from Pennsylvania.
Really?
I went to the Pittsburgh workshop, and I connected with all of them really well.
That's cool.
And then Austin was, I don't know, I connected with all of them too. I felt I knew all of them. You guys were really fun too. I didn't feel any negative vibes at all. You guys were cool. So
Fun times.
It's fine.
so yeah, but I would say out of my most fun stops, I'd say was Pittsburgh was cool and Austin was pretty cool.
That's neat. I've never been to Pittsburgh, but I don't really hear too much about the flow community there, so that's cool. You always hear about Austin right now. Austin's booming, or it's the place.
Yeah.
I keep hearing about the flow community there, hoopers, and
I was
just the
about
art
to
scene
actually
in
go.
general.
That was the workshop I was going to go to also because I have an uncle that lives in Dallas, and he was like, "You can fly here, and then we'll take a road trip. No big deal. I will totally do that for you." And I'm like, and then I saw you were going to do one here, and I was like, screw that idea.
Right. But yeah, Pittsburgh was cool. Then I went to Philadelphia. That was close enough. So, but yeah, I liked them all though. I mean, there was none that I was like, oh, I hate being here. So
Definitely.
it was cool. What else did you ask me?
Oh, just if you have any, since you've been to so many cities lately, what's a challenge that you find as far as traveling, figuring out what to do once you get there, or traveling with your props? Any challenges you face, or?
Well, for me, I'm a mom, so that's my biggest thing, and I'm married, so I always have to be do I take my son to this trip or do I leave him at home?
So
with
sometimes
his
he
dad?
comes with you, sometimes
it's it's been split about pretty evenly. Half the time he stays home, half the time he stays with me. It just depends on whether or not my husband is off and able to watch him. If he has to work the whole weekend, then he might as well come with me. So that's an added challenge. But I don't fly anywhere for that reason too. As far as it's just a pain to try to pack up your hoops and get to where you need to go. And so I drive everywhere. It is kind of hard as far as challenge wise because sometimes it's hard to sell tickets. Even though I do have a decent following, sometimes certain workshops you just have to cancel them because people don't buy tickets. Wow. And it's I had to cancel one about 5 days before it happened because I hadn't sold enough tickets, and it's it's a bummer, but it's not ever guaranteed.
Definitely.
So that's a little bit of something people don't think about when they say, I want to start doing workshops. Okay, but it's hard. You got to put a lot of time into being on the computer and networking and trying to track down venues and paying for promotions. And it's a lot of computer stuff, which I don't want to sit behind the computer all the time and do. But it's you have to do that if you want to be a business, and try to, sell yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Have you found any common factors as far as when you do get a packed workshop? Is it more that you're putting more into promoting or just trying to network with that community, or is it just kind of hit or miss sometimes?
I think my host has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
Like if it's a good
you
host
promote
who
it.
has like some really strong connections within the community, it makes it so much easier.
That's very
I mean,
true.
I have put on a couple workshops myself, like in Buffalo, but Buffalo had so many hoopers that I didn't even have to try very hard because there was just so many people in Buffalo. I think it's because they don't have anything else to do
Right.
there that they're like, yeah, we'll do hula hooping. But yeah, it just depends.
It just spreads like wildfire, word of mouth.
Sometimes.
It's interesting you say that because like I've just started using Instagram a lot, and it's actually a really cool way to meet other hoopers. You put little videos up, and there's a big community on Instagram, but a lot of them are from Buffalo. Like every time I scroll through like hooping hashtags or whatever, it's like Buffalo.
I know. Yeah, that one like sold out, and I didn't even have a host to help me. So it's like, man, there just must be hoopers all over in Buffalo. So
definitely.
yeah, so that's a cool one too.
That's really cool.
Let's see, what else? What's going to talk about?
I don't know if you have any advice for hoopers who are either just starting out or.
I think I just want everybody to like love what they do, like whether it's hooping
yes.
or another flow art or a sport or whatever. I just want people to like do what makes them happy, and don't try to chase something if you're not going to be happy doing it. Because like I've turned down some like gigs that would have like paid a decent amount of money, but like I didn't really want to do them, and I didn't ever want to lose my love for the sport and be like, I hate being here right now.
Yeah.
So I just try to keep like my happiness factor like the main thing, so that way like I feel like I'll be more successful at it if I like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So don't ever like try to force yourself to like practice if you don't want to practice, and just enjoy it. And if like I used to this was a while ago, I'd be like, man, my off body work is like horrible. Like I really need to like up my game and start practicing that. And then I'm like, why? I don't like doing it. I don't want to do it. Why should I do that? Why don't I just do what I like doing, so then I can get better at that? Like what's what's the point of practicing something you don't like?
That's something I struggle with because I'm like, I need to learn this. I need to learn this, and I'm like, do I really want to learn it?
Yeah, if you don't want to learn it, then yeah, just.
That's kind of how I've started to feel with, there's so much pressure right now, I think, if you watch a lot of the community with doubles and minis, and I think it's amazing. And I do want to try to broaden my horizons a little bit, and it's great to challenge the non-dominant side of your body or your non-dominant current. But at the end of the day, what I love is I'm a one-hoop girl.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I've stopped trying to be like, oh, yeah, I need to learn doubles. Like, they're fun to dabble in. But I just, 15 hoops at once, like circus hooping. I have mad respect for anyone who can and wants to do that. But it's just
cool when they can do it. But I know I feel like that's like one of my most commonly asked questions. They're like, you hula hoop? Oh, so how many do you do? And I'm like, one.
Really?
And yeah, they're like, what do you mean? You hula hoop? Like, how many? And I'm like, one. They're like, oh. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like,
no, look what I can do with one. Though.
Yeah, right?
Like that, but I'm like, no, like, I just get really funky with one of them,
Yeah.
So, I just try, like I said, I just try to keep, like, I try not to do anything that's going to make me not like the sport.
Yeah.
So, like, I try to avoid anything that, like, jobs or whatever if I don't like it.
And as long as you're still in touch with that passion and all the computer work that it does take to start to do workshops and travel with it and everything makes it all okay. Because once you get here and you're in it, if that's what you love to teach and that's what you love to do.
I know, and I do, and I love teaching, and I love connecting with all you guys because, like, I feel like you guys are like my friends. Like, I don't feel like sometimes I feel like they're students, but a lot of times I create like really strong bonds and connections with certain people, and I'm like, oh, they're my friends. I can't wait to see them again,
Come back.
So like you kind of have to do like the extra stuff, in order to promote yourself to be able to sell tickets and make this stuff happen. But it's hard work, but it's fun at the same time. So
yeah,
I'm very
What got you
fortunate.
started? I know you've been hooping for a couple years now.
Yep, my husband actually did.
Wave.
Hi.
So voices aren't coming from nowhere.
Yeah, right?
Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's okay. My husband's spun toy, and he can juggle and do all this stuff, and I'm like, I want to do something cool. And I'm like, I'm going to fire hoop. I'm like, I think people do that. And he's like, you don't even know how to hula hoop. And I'm like, well, I am going to learn. And I didn't know what fire hooping was. I thought like you wore like a special suit and lit the hoop on fire and just hula hoop.
Yeah. When most people see my fire hoop, they're like, oh, it's a thing at the end of, it's a wick. Okay,
I'm
you've
like,
got some space here.
Do you wear a special outfit like a fireman? But
like a fire retardant suit.
It looks like that when somebody's spinning and you don't know what's going on. Yeah, it definitely looks like that. Really
but I learned how to hoop, obviously, and then of course I like started fire hooping, but it just it wasn't my passion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I just don't even do it. Oh, another thing too, we were talking about things that like make us happy. You know what I love more than like almost anything is just like being in my kitchen and like turning on good music and waist hooping. Like not doing anything else but just waist hooping. Like it's so like meditative and
exactly.
It's therapeutic.
I'm glad
for sure.
I'm not the only one who thinks that.
And it's good for you too. It's good for your core, you know. It's good for your mind.
I actually got my mom doing that because she's always stressed and she's always like, I'm like, just hula hoop. So now I'll go upstairs. She's hula hooping, watching TV.
Right. Just waist hoop and just getting into the music and just like kind of feeling it. It's cool. Like, yeah.
Especially, I think when you start to progress and people tend to go smaller and smaller and smaller hoops, not only diameter wise, but the tubing. And you forget to go pick up an old heavy hoop again and just try to go maybe as slow as you possibly can while still keeping it up, or just doing those meditative types of hooping.
I feel like that's almost like a fad, like people like trying to get the smallest hoop they can,
right?
You know? And it's like, you just got to find what works for you. Like, I mean, I've settled on my size and I've realized there's certain skills that I can't do very well with it because it's too small, but I'm like, well, I really want to do breaks, so that's the size I'm going to stick with that one.
Yeah.
But I know it's kind of silly when people just try to like force themselves into a smaller hoop when
they think, oh, I've gotten this much better. I need this type of hoop.
Yeah, like I'm never going back down again. Like I found my size and it's perfect and I'm never changing. And I have like 40 hoops that are all 31s.
Really? At least you have options.
One for like every outfit.
There you go.
Color coordinate my hoops.
Right?
They all have names.
I have like the pile like the ones you can play with, the like fairly new, and like don't touch these ones.
That's like I only have like maybe 10, but that's exactly how it is. I'm like, oh kids, you want hold on.
Yeah, don't touch this one.
You can take these.
Let's see, what else can we talk about?
What did you guys want to ask Rachel? Do you have any questions?
Any misconceptions I feel like I need to clear up for the hooping community?
Anything you need to get out right now?
I think I've already said it like 4 times, but
Fell asleep.
like I've already said this, but like I feel like I left the unity because I keep seeing things like negativity, but like I see these negative posts sometimes about like I only do it for, like the attention or exposure and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, like that just happens, like extra, but I hoop because I love it, like that's bottom line. Like I just want to make enough money to where I can hoop all the time.
Right? Yeah, everybody wants to do what they love, be able to make a little money.
Do you teach classes in Ohio?
Just kids classes,
Just kids classes?
It went off again, I don't know.
I think it's internet.
Because the adult one didn't go very well. Like it just like fizzled out. So the kids stuck with it though. I think it's because like adults are they just give up too easy. Like they're too embarrassed because it's like, I mean, it's a gym. So like it's like women who are like in their 30s or 40s and want to get fit and they like see the hula hoop and they're like, oh, I can't do that. And they don't even try. Or when they do try, they like hoop for a couple minutes and don't get it right away, and they're like, that's not for me. And it's like, man, we practice all the time, like it's fun. Like you don't have to be like crazy good, just do it. But yeah, I think that's why kids do so much better, at least for me, because they don't have that like embarrassment.
Yeah,
or,
they don't have any expectations either.
Yeah, and they don't ever think it either. They just do it. And like these kids are like, I have some of these students, this girl's like 11, and everything I throw at her, she does. Like everything. Like I'm like, I don't even know what to do with you anymore. Like
I'm out of ideas.
Yeah, like
you show me something.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, why don't you just go in the corner and figure out a skill and teach it to me? Okay.
Yes.
So.
And that's another thing I've learned just with doing community hoops. Our hoop troop does a lot of just stuff where we bring all these hoops that we make and share them for whatever charitable events going on or at the park or whatever. And that's one thing I've noticed with all these kids is since they have no expectations, they're not scouring YouTube for tutorials or whatever, they just toss the hoop this way and it ends up looking really cool and they catch it. And I'm just like, wait, can you do that again? That was really awesome.
Right? Like this kid's like, so Rachel, creative. I made up a new skill. You like throw it and you turn and then you twist and then you bounce it and then you catch it like this. And I'm like, do that again. Like what? But let me write this down.
That's really cool.
Oh, I should feel like this is like totally kind of off topic, but I feel like I should mention it too though. It's just like a misconception I had with I did think that once I quit my job and started traveling and being a professional hooper that I would hoop all the time. But it really didn't work out like that, quite like I thought, because I spend like so much time traveling, obviously, and so much time networking that I really haven't even gotten in a really good practice since I started touring, which has been like
Really?
5 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Like,
a couple months.
I mean, I get, like every once in a while, but it's usually like I get home, I do my laundry, my dishes, clean up, like kiss the husband, and I'm gone again, and I don't have time to do anything. But I'm really looking forward to, after this one, to be at home and lock myself and like really like dive back into my practice because I need to feel that flow state,
Absolutely.
Like, I'm missing it, so.
Yeah.
Ready to get sweaty.
That's usually what I have to do too. If I ever feel like I hit a plateau or I'm just uninspired to hoop, it's like I don't push myself. I mean, sometimes you get so frustrated with the trick and you walk away from it for a couple weeks, and then the first time you try it again, it's back. But not even trying to progress with new tricks and moves. Just if you're ever uninspired, I find it so perfect just to put on your favorite song or even a genre that you don't normally hoop to. But anything that'll get the creative juices flowing and just get lost and don't worry about your sequences or anything.
I was upset and I was just kind of in a funk.
Yeah.
And I hadn't hooped in
Hoop
3
it out.
weeks. And my boyfriend actually texted me from Kentucky, hoop it out.
Did he really?
I kid you not. He was like, hoop it out. Go grab your
Nice.
hula hoop, put some music on, and just hula hoop. And I did, and it was like I happy to record it just so I can see like the difference. And that was one of the best like recordings I have.
He knows you
myself.
so well.
Right?
That's
Isn't
a
that
good
great? I mean,
man.
we've been dating for 5 years, going on 6, so he better.
Right.
We'll have an issue if he doesn't.
That's cool.
I think the most like evolution I had of the hooper, I got laid off last year for the first time ever, and I knew it would happen at some time in my industry, but then I had 3 months where I had nothing. I like didn't have work. Like I was like, okay, well, I guess to not be like, whoa, it's me. I'm just gonna go down to the gym and I'm gonna hoop it out. And I would spend hours in there, and like that was when I kept posting all those videos, like no hands, and I was like learning how to do things with my lower body, and it like shot me to this different place. And it was because I was putting so much time into like getting in touch with myself.
Yeah.
What I liked and like what I needed to work on, and like, spending the whole week to focus on it, and like
Just trying things
showing
you may have
people
never
as you,
thought
like,
of.
progress, like, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said too, though, try not to like push it though.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really good. It was a good break.
That is always a good exercise, like you said, trying new things, taking a body part away. Like, I'm not going to use my right hand,
It's like no
or
hands at all. No
I'm
hands.
not going to grip it at all. It's just all balancing. That's really cool. It's fun
I
to
have a
do.
question for you. Because you started to do classes at the gym, right? So how did you kind of jump into that? Did they approach you? Or did
Yes, I know there's a big thing as far as like, I'm sure you guys have seen on Facebook, Revolva posted that thing about hoopers hooping for free. And I totally like agree that you should not like be expected to perform at an event for free. Like they should pay you for your time. However, I have totally done free exposure things, and it really did work to my benefit. And I don't think it's right, and I think I should have been paid and compensated for that, and I went away mad, but it totally helped me. Like, I started out just doing like free events in my community, which is cool. Like, I don't really, like, they don't have like money to like pay me for like, the festivals in town or whatever. So like, donating my time for that is fine. And I was like doing something with the kids, and somebody approached me and said, hey, they're opening up a gym in a couple months. Do you maybe want to teach a hooping class? And I'm like, sure. So I talked to her, and but if you want to start doing it yourself, I would just go to different gyms and see if, take some hoops in there and ask them if they would be interested in it at all.
Yeah.
But like, as far as going back to talking about exposure though, like sometimes it really does help. Like if you do, like you shouldn't have to do anything for free. But if you do, like it better be good, and you better get some exposure out of it and get like, it could lead to something else, and it's happened to me before too, so.
I think we do a lot of stuff like that, like free community events, and I think we just like to do it. Like playing with kids is just fun for all of us.
It is.
Like it really is, and like getting like older people out there and like seeing someone who's like 60 years old be like, I used to do this when I was a kid, and like get it down, and stuff like that. But I think at this point we're kind of looking for other opportunities, but it's kind of like a new territory to like, because I was thinking Gold's Gym was like a perfect place for us to approach and be like, hey, like even if it wasn't like, a structured class or whatever, I don't know, like maybe just a session where someone could just let loose, or like, we just have an hour of core like cardio, like, this really does benefit your body kind of thing.
Yeah, because if you're going to teach adults don't, generally speaking, they don't want to learn the tricks. Like the kids do, but like adults just want to get fit. So you have to like kind of pull back from like teaching like the fun stuff, like the isolations and stuff, and just really focus on trying to find ways to make the hoop your prop for fitness. So it's like,
do you guys see that video of the girl that does the trampolines EDM style?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
That
I
is
haven't seen
awesome.
that.
A hooping EDM themed class where it would be like, yeah, they would like
Wild.
sit there and have these like mini trampolines and they would sit there and like do things like this. They're doing it to music and stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody's like having a great
They have
time.
this
And,
little
like,
bar in front of them.
maybe if they didn't like trick so much that you could like spin it that way, like a high energy.
Right. Go in there with your colorful hoops too, and they'll be more likely to. Yeah, it's like, oh, those are pretty.
Right?
So,
Something new and shiny.
well,
Cool.
questions?
That's it from my end. I mean, if you wanted to add anything, or if you guys had something else to ask, I'm gonna put this up on the blog and
Cool.
share it. Thank you so flipping
Thank
much
you.
for like having the time to do this.
Yes,
and-
he's probably like, hurry up.
Oh,
I was like, you've
Yeah.
gotta be like, oh my gosh, every minute that passes is
it's so good to meet you. Please safe
He's a good husband
travels.
though. He can deal with it. Yeah.
She's
Grab
like,
so
you've
much.
got this. Don't worry.
Like I said,
Thank you. Bye.